Good morning, Golden Bears, and welcome to Berkeley's biggest birthday party ever. Today is Charter Day, and we are celebrating the 150th anniversary of the founding of the University of California. My name is Hyatt Koffler, and I'm the mic woman for Cal Spirit. I am honored to welcome over 6,000 alumni, faculty, staff, friends, and families to our celebration here today. At this time, I am excited to introduce our official stage party, which will be led by the first banner of the graduating class of 1873. Ladies and gentlemen, the official stage party. And now, I'd like to introduce the honored alumni who are processing behind their class banners, carried by current Cal students and staff. Representing the war classes 1945 to war 1947, the most senior alumnae here are Jean Marchant, class of 46, and B. Heggie, class of 47.
Because when we get to campus, we can also survive.
Yes, I'm very, very excited. The program starts in June, however, so we're turning around. And just like
All the little things that help the scholarship happen. Groups. We really like groups.
they're nice, and the program offers a lot of traveling opportunities. You get to go to military bases, both domestic and abroad. So it's really hands-on.
We talk a lot about that. How to all the
Good morning. My name is Mark Fisher, and I'm the Vice Chancellor for Administration. I want to welcome you, our students, faculty, staff, alumni, friends, and special guests, to the Berkeley 150th Charter Day celebration. I don't have to say sesquicentennial, but I'm trying to. So welcome. Before we begin this historic event, I'd like to remind us of some general rules so that everyone can fully enjoy the program. Please silence your cell phones. Stay in your seats and keep the aisles clear for safety reasons. Please do not engage in any action that disrupts the event or prevents the speakers from being heard. Individuals who do so may be asked to leave or be referred to the appropriate contact offices. Again, thank you for joining us on Charter Day to mark the founding of our great university and all it's brought to bear on our own lives, California, and the world. Let's begin the celebration.
And now, please rise for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets winkling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now I'm delighted to start the introductions of our very special Cal alumni and friends who will present their birthday wishes to our great university. Our first honored guest is the chair of the University of California Board of Regents, Mr. George Kiefer. George.
Thank you, Carol. Good morning, Berkeley. And good morning to your progeny, the 9 great campuses that drew from your DNA and comprise the University of California system. I bring you birthday greetings from the Regents of the University of California. Today we celebrate with you the founding 150 years ago today of the greatest public research university in the world. And we wish for 150 more. And we will have 150 more if we demonstrate the same purpose, optimism, confidence, and commitment that characterized those who led this university in its early days. Nothing sums up that unbridled confidence of purpose better than the words of Daniel Coit Gilman in his inauguration address. It will not be a university, it will be a university, he said, of the people and for the people. Not in any low or unworthy sense, but in the highest and noblest relations to the intellectual and moral well-being. It is to fit young men and women for high and noble careers, satisfactory to themselves and useful to mankind. It is to bring before the society of today the failures and successes of societies in the past, to discover the fortunes of nature. It is to hand down to generations which come after us the torch of experience by which we have been enlightened. And the spirit of this place will be the faculty. As Gilman then went on to predict, today we pay grateful homage to the foresight of those who founded this university, as well as those who have maintained it, and we rightly celebrate its success. For we on the Board of Regents remain unabashedly proud of the unparalleled creative energy, curiosity, discovery, quality, social mobility, and most of all, hope, all understood throughout the world in an almost magical single word: Berkeley. Happy birthday, Berkeley. May there be many more. Thank you, and of course, go Bears.
Good morning. I'm Janet Napolitano, President of the University of California. Wow, what a great day! I am so excited to be here and to wish UC Berkeley the happiest of birthdays. This is a special year for a wonderful campus and for the entire University of California community. When California's early settlers set out to build California's public research university, they looked to models on the East Coast and in Europe for inspiration, but ultimately they opted to create a different kind of university, one more accessible and egalitarian than Oxford or Yale. Today, UC Berkeley continues to live up to that ideal. It is home to excellence and opportunity, a place where students from all backgrounds can thrive. The history of UC Berkeley is replete with stories of trailblazers and innovators, pioneers and leaders who changed the world. It's the story of women who were admitted decades before Harvard, Princeton, or Yale began accepting women. It's the story of the world's first cyclotron and the poetry of Czeslaw Miłosz, Berkeley's first Nobel winner in the arts. It's the story of movement makers like Mario Savio and Alice Waters. It's generations of student activists, and it's the story of today's dreamers. This is UC Berkeley. And it is a university that ought to make all of us here today and all Californians deeply proud. As we mark UC's sesquicentennial across the university, we are not resting on our laurels. Instead, we are working hard to expand opportunity and access to this great university and to serve ever more Californians. We will continue to push forward with the belief in the power of education to change lives and change the world for the better. But today we celebrate. To this day, there is no place on earth like this campus. For 150 years, it has illuminated the unknown and sparked new ideas and movements. As we look ahead to Berkeley's bright future, it's clear that it will continue to provide light in the darkness. The world's greatest public research university, indeed, is on the verge of even more accomplishments in the next 150 years. Happy birthday, UC Berkeley. Fiat Lux, and go Bears!
Lit. Hi, my name is Zainab Abdul Qadir Morris. I'm a fourth year here at UC Berkeley, and I have the pleasure of serving as the ASUC undergraduate student body president. Woo! Cool. So in Afro-diasporic culture, there's tradition, there's a practice called Libations in which we take time on special occasions like this today to reconnect with our ancestors, acknowledge the past as we do celebrate the future. And so for this, I will need your participation to do this. Before I begin, I need your participation. When I say I go, I need you to say I may. These are Akan words for may I have your attention and you may. So I go. Thank you. So as I'm going to be pouring water into one of my plants that I brought, and as I read statements out, I hope that you can say Ashe with me. Ashe means so be it. So firstly, I do want to give thanks to the Ohlone people to which this university would not exist about. Ashe. For our personal ancestors, those who gave birth to us, nurtured us, taught us. If you have any names that you want to bring into this space, feel free to shout them out right now. Thank you, Ashe. For our universal ancestors, for freedom fighters, for scholars in the academy and the hood, for those who have been aligned with what is and what was right, feel free to call out their names at this time too. There's Veve Clark, Barbara Christian, Mario Savio. Thank you, Ashe. In remembrance of some of our struggles to get here, and those who have struggled on our behalf before we got here, Ashe. And finally, to a future where students of underrepresented backgrounds no longer feel like visitors on this campus, to a world where ICE and other violent systems no longer exist, where there is no hunger or homelessness, and where education is truly a right and students no longer have to go into debt in order to create a more beautiful and vibrant future. Ashe. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Berkeley. My name's Dana Vollmer. I'm a 7-time Olympic gold medalist. Go USA. On behalf of all the student athletes, I want to wish a happy 150th birthday to Berkeley. It was one of the greatest honors of my life to be a Cal Bear and to be a part of this amazing institution. The school taught me to be a strong, independent person. And the women's swim coach, Terry McKeever, taught me how to keep life in perspective, fight for my dreams, and how to stand tall and be a proud woman. It's my pleasure to represent one of the best athletic departments in the world. As we reflect on an amazing 150 years, our minds shift to the future on what the next 150 years will look like. Through my Olympic journey, I have learned that a key to continued success is to embrace change. Each of my 3 Olympics, I've come home with gold medals, and I know that wouldn't have been possible without the continued search on how to improve, how to understand the physics of being in the water, better nutrition, and how to train smarter. Even when we are at the pinnacle of success, we have to always question the process. I've continued to be successful through continued adaptation, embracing having a crazy life, and striving to find a healthy life balance that works for me, and disregarding people's judgments or disbelief that it's possible. The way I train today looks completely different than the way I trained when I won my first gold medal at 16. I challenge all of you to embrace change as you look to the future and to never be afraid to take a different path. Berkeley is an amazing place for change. Happy birthday to Berkeley.
Good morning. One more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wonderful. My name is Kenna Hazelwood Carter, and I am the current president of the Graduate Assembly here at UC Berkeley. Yes. Whether you are an alum of the undergraduate, if you're a double or triple Berkeley graduate, or if you just came here as I did for your postgraduate education, it is such an important thing for us to recognize the lineage that we are a part of. I am fortunate to be a third-generation Berkeley graduate student. I am living proof of the transformative power of public education. I am proof that it is an amazing place that we are coming to and that we are transformed by. I am proof that what you take from this place can truly make lives that are of value, that are of service, and that help build the amazing place that we call home, this state of California. I am so pleased to be here. I'm so pleased to see you, and I'm so pleased to say, happy birthday, Berkeley. Go Bears.
When the training days are done and the big game's just begun and there's music in the air, when our team runs on the field, Stanford knows the fate is sealed. For the golden bear has left his lair. Roar! Ah! When the yells from lusty throws start to get in Stanford's goat, bah! And the rooting section seems a howling mob.
Oh, stop it.
Then you grab your hat and shout, Go Bears! You let folks know you're about. For you know that Stanford Jonah's on the job.
So then what, boys?
So then it's up with the blue and gold,
Down with the red.
red, red, red. California's up for a victory. We'll drop our battle axe on Stanford's head. When we meet her, our team will surely beat her down on the Stanford front. There'll be no sound. Shh. When our Oski rips through the air like our friend Mr. Jonah, Stanford's team will be found in the tummy of the golden bear. So then it's up with the blue and gold,
Down with the red.
red, red, red. California's up for a victory. We'll drop our battle axe on Stanford's head. Hi-ya! When we meet her, our team will surely beat her down on the Stanford front. There'll be no sound. When our Oski rips through the air like our friend Mr. Jonah, Stanford's team will be found in the tummy of the golden bear. In the fuzzy, rosy golden bear. In a roly-poly golden bear. In the sneaky, weaky golden bear. In the California golden bear. Go Bears!
Thank you guys so much. Once again, we are the UC Men's Octet. And if we can finally get a Go Bears on 3, a Go Bears on me. 1, 2, 3, Go Bears! Thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful day.
Greetings. I was complaining to Carol that there are no protesters. I never did a public event once where there weren't protesters. Obviously, Berkeley made the right choice. So first of all, I want to congratulate the University of California generally and UC Berkeley specifically on its 150th anniversary. It was a great privilege to have served as Chancellor of Berkeley, but I can tell you personally, it's an even greater privilege to be a regular faculty member at this university. This enables one to do research with brilliant fellow faculty and to both teach and do research with our extraordinary students. On Tuesday of this week, the latest global rankings came out, this time from US News and World Report, and once more Berkeley is ranked among the top few universities in the world, public or private. Importantly, we are leaders across the board in fields ranging from English to economics and business, to physics, chemistry, and biology, to engineering, and to many other fields. This comprehensive excellence has been the hallmark of Berkeley for the past 150 years, and I'm sure it will continue to be so for the next 150 years. At the same time, we can take great pride in the large percentage of our undergraduate students who are Pell Grant recipients. We can take pride in our national leadership in treating our undocumented students humanely. On the high graduation rates of our undergraduate students, no matter what their family backgrounds, and on the fact that our undergraduate students graduate with a cumulative debt, which is $10,000 less than the national average for public universities. And in fact, we lead the country in the smallest student debt of any public university. As we heard earlier, this does not mean that we do not have work to do to achieve a truly equitable and inclusive university. Of course we do. But we are on the right track, and I'm absolutely confident that with Chancellor Christ's leadership, this will continue to be one of our highest priorities. UC Berkeley has set the standard for public higher education in the United States for the past 150 years. It's our responsibility, our grandchildren's responsibility, their grandchildren's responsibility, et cetera, to ensure that this remains true for the next 150 years. Happy 150th birthday, Berkeley, and go Bears!
Happy birthday, Cal. My name is Randy Scheckman. I've been a proud Cal faculty member for going on 42 years, and I'm particularly pleased to have delivered Cal's first Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine. Cal is the birthplace of big science, brought to us by the genius of Ernest O. Lawrence, the University of California's first Nobel laureate. You may not know, but on the eve of World War II, Lawrence, at the tender age of 38, was awarded the Nobel Prize, but because of the war and his nationally essential work in the development of the cyclotron, the Swedish ambassador to the US traveled to San Francisco to present him with his prize. Lawrence recruited J. Robert Oppenheimer, another genius of singular distinction, who led the nation's effort in the Manhattan Project to develop nuclear weapons. And yet, at the conclusion of the war, Oppenheimer led an effort to control nuclear weapons, ultimately leading to his own downfall because of political opposition. Lawrence also led a team of brilliant physicists and chemists, including Edwin McMillan, Glenn Seaborg, Emilio Segre, Owen Chamberlain, Louis Alvarez, all subsequently awarded Nobels, who greatly expanded the periodic table with a series of transuranium elements and then probe the inner structure of the atom to detect the fundamental particles of nature. In the life sciences, we are proud of the discoveries that reveal the nature of living things and the application of that knowledge to human health. The Nobelist Liz Blackburn and her graduate student Carol Greider did their pioneering work at Cal to discover the enzyme responsible for constructing the ends of chromosomes, and showed that the growth or shrinkage of those ends relates to age and the ability of normal and cancerous cells to continue to grow and divide. Our distinguished colleague Bruce Ames created the Ames test, a simple bacterial growth assay that measures the effect of chemical mutagens, usually also cancer-causing agents. And in an undergraduate laboratory class here at Cal, his students discovered that standard food, clothing, and furniture additives expose people to dangerous chemicals that have now been banned from use. You should know that the birth of the new developments in cancer immunotherapy started here at Cal with the discoveries of James Allison, who found a way to unleash the power of T cells to attack tumors. The drug development he pioneered has turned melanoma from a certain death sentence to an increasingly curable disease. Jennifer Doudna, one of our most celebrated young colleagues, made a discovery just 5 years ago that brings the tools of genome editing to the treatment of human genetic disease. The work in my laboratory probed the molecular basis of protein secretion in baker's yeast. We had no notion of any practical application of this work, and yet after we learned that yeast cells use a fundamental pathway, the same as in human cells, the biotechnology industry applied this knowledge to engineer the production of commercially useful quantities of human proteins. And as a result, 1/3 of the world's supply of recombinant human insulin is produced in yeast. I have no doubt that the next century will see Cal lead the way in scientific discovery and continue to provide the best opportunities afforded by an investment in public higher education. And now it's up to us to ensure that that investment continues. Go Bears!
Good morning, Berkeley. My name is Jose Rodriguez. I'm honored to be here as a member of the staff. One way or another, I've been connected to this place my whole life. My dad worked here across the way at Zellerbach Hall for 20 years before he retired. And you know, my siblings in my family, my partner have all degrees from Berkeley. Well, there's actually 4 of them, 4 degrees. I didn't go to school here, but I worked here for the past 24 years. So I think that may be a title of some sort. My parents were immigrants. They were of the generation in the post-war era that really believed in the possibility of change. And for them, Berkeley was a symbol of that. I wrote a piece that I'm going to read for you today that is in honor of their memory and also in the honor of the University of California, Berkeley, on this occasion and for all the generations that have come to this place and been touched by this place. It's titled Around the Bend, Strawberry Creek. On this land where Ohlone worshipped, a spot of sun zigzags, lighting path ahead, flickering light, shadow light, hopscotching, veneer of centuries. Around the bend, Strawberry Creek. I walk among gnarled live oak, sacred rhythms before this was Berkeley. At this edge of North America, of restless, shifting landscapes, seismic rumbling magnifies movement, guaranteeing certain change. The pulse of discovery, rediscovery. an electricity of surprise in the air and underfoot. We are riding on tectonic plates, yet drawn to this one place. We are all Berkeley, each a radiant source, struggles, fragile balances steadied, inherited, testifying to brilliance. Attached to this mythical home, we find a way to return. The oxygen is permeated here with the audacity of the first 12 students, the first women to enroll, the first Black tenured professor, the dreamer who today defies barriers, blazing forth beyond the point of good wishes, the scholar daring to explain elemental, hidden truths, consciousness, action, genetic essence, cosmic destiny, the alumna who remembers, continually revisiting the meaning of having been here, returning present today. Berkeley also called my father. Unemployed he came, wearing janitor garb. One day he took me, age 11, circa 1973, on a campus tour of Frisbees, long hair flowing, marijuana-scented air, proudly pointing out library, Campanile, and its beacon, embracing it like a promise, somewhere between sacrifice and hope. His beloved Universidad de California in Berkeley. In this ecosystem, he taught me Berkeley is also the one who cleans the labs while the teacher unpacks the systemic issues and the student stretches her budget, fulfilling a dream. 4 decades later, here again, I hear his footsteps next to me among eucalyptus, whistling canopy, oak trees, the flagstone path near VLSB. For they who pave the way, let us ask, what have we built here? How have we transformed its power? Does its radiance spread equally? How far? How can we advance its promise? We must never stop asking, never stop testing the proof of the founding charter. In this passage, 150 years is a split second around the bend of Strawberry Creek. At this place, that is luminous. Let there be light. Let there be. Let there be. Happy birthday, Cal.
Thank you for all those wonderful Berkeley wishes, birthday wishes, Berkeley birthday wishes. Thank you all for joining us today. And let me give a special thanks to the alumni who have returned to be here with us, representing classes as far back as the class of 1945. Thanks also to so many who have publicly commended us on this milestone. Congresswoman Barbara Lee, who issued a statement in the Congressional Record celebrating UC's 150th anniversary, Governor Brown, those in the California State Senate and State Assembly, which passed resolutions celebrating this occasion, Alameda County Supervisor Keith Carson, and many others. Now it's my honor as Berkeley's 11th Chancellor to give today's keynote address. Today, March 23rd, is our Charter Day. 150 years ago, Governor Henry Haight signed an act envisioning a great public university for the state of California, one that would provide the children of farmers and factory workers with a stellar education. Thus, with the stroke of a pen, Haight brought into being one of the most extraordinary universities that the world has ever known, a place where we would discover new chemical elements, where we would develop cures for diseases, where social movements would begin, and where we would ask and answer questions fundamental to our understanding of the world. In the years since 1868, our institution has grown from 40 students on a small campus in Oakland to 10 university campuses educating nearly 300,000 students, not to mention 5 medical centers, 3 national labs, and an extensive network of educational, health, and agricultural resource centers serving Californians across the state. Today, the University of California is the envy of every other public university system of higher education in the world. Through its apartheid mission of teaching, research, and public service, it has given great strength to California, its economy, and its people. At the heart of today's system, of course, is Berkeley, UC's founding campus, its flagship, and its shining jewel, a place that rivals in quality any institution in the Ivy League, all the while educating as many low-income students as every institution in the Ivy League put together. Because we're celebrating our institution's 150th anniversary today, I'll begin with a story of our origins. It's a story that begins well before 1868. The University of California was originally imagined during the Gold Rush, with the very first California state legislature envisioning a university that would contribute even more than gold to the glory and happiness of advancing generations. It would be the great light of the Pacific, they wrote, and yet without any allocation of funding or land, there was no way to realize that vision. But circumstances changed with the passage of the Morrill Land Grant Act of 1862, the legislation that provided a grant of federal land to every state in the Union to establish a public university. California embraced this opportunity, moving to establish a college of agricultural, mining, and mechanical arts, essentially a polytechnic institution. Reverend Henry Durant, after whom Durant Hall is named, had the vision of joining this college, which still existed only on paper, with the financially struggling College of California, a liberal arts institution in Oakland. With this merger, the University of California was born on Charter Day, March 23, 1868. While classes began on the College of California's existing Oakland campus, the university soon moved to a new location in Strawberry Canyon overlooking the Golden Gate, which Durant named Berkeley after the 18th century Irish philosopher Bishop Berkeley. Durant saw the place as deeply symbolic. As a newspaper editorial said at the time, many nations a few years hence, as their fleets with the wealth of commerce seek these golden shores, will see the university before they see the metropolis. The land on which the new campus sat was also known as Huchin, home to the Chochenyo Ohlone people. In telling the story of this great university, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our deep and complex history with Native peoples as a critical part of our institution's past legacy. We stand with privilege in a place that remains vitally important to today's Chochenyo Ohlone, stewards of their ancestral lands. The year that the first buildings on the new Berkeley campus were completed was also the year that the university's first class graduated. 12 young men, called the 12 Apostles. Women weren't admitted until 1870. They went on to illustrious careers. That class of 1873 included a US congressman, a California governor, a mayor, a bank president, 2 UC regents, a businessman, an attorney, an engineer, a math professor, a clergyman, and a rancher. Berkeley graduates set off to shape the world from the very start, and the growing university quickly became the eminent academic institution in the West. But the road was never easy. We're used to a triumphal history of the University of California, but our story is more profoundly one of resilience in the face of challenges. Let me give some examples. Very soon after its founding, UC's commitment to a broad liberal education came under attack. Agricultural interests in the state felt the university was not focusing sufficiently on the needs of farmers, giving too much attention to subjects like ancient languages and philosophy. UC nearly lost its autonomy in this conflict, but a coalition revised the state constitution in ways that protected the university's independence, yet still allowed it to meet more of the farming industry's needs. Berkeley's budget was an early issue as well. Throughout the 19th and into the early 20th century, the campus was subject to chronic underfunding by the state. During the Great Depression, about 25% of UC's state allocation was withdrawn, and the university had no substantial private gifts or student fees to fill the gap. Yet during this time, through creativity and grit, its academic departments still managed to grow in size and stature. Catastrophes occasionally befell the campus too. In 1923, the first major urban wildfire in American history destroyed 600 buildings in the city and burned to the edge of campus, causing a quarter of the faculty to lose their homes and their research materials. But collections were rebuilt, and the community banded together to support those who lost their homes. More recently, in the middle of the 20th century, Berkeley was the center of several political firestorms: the loyalty oath controversy of the late 1940s and the political protests of the 1960s. Ronald Reagan, running as governor of California, condemned Berkeley as emblematic of all that was wrong with academia and with young people. Berkeley nonetheless sustained its academic reputation, and after the events of the 1960s, issues of social equity and justice became more deeply embedded in the campus's DNA. These examples from history offer lessons for today. Our campus is in the midst of as challenging and important a time as any that it has seen before, one that will require our creativity and determination. Today's challenges are many. Most pressingly, we must create a new financial model for a public institution that is no longer supported by the state as generously as it once was. We must become more decisive and transparent in our governance and administration in order to have the agility to adapt and to evolve. We must become more diverse, more representative of the population of California in order to serve our mission, retain public trust, and be a people's college for the 21st century. Then there's the challenge of the student experience. We become a much bigger university than was ever imagined even 20 years ago. How can we ensure that at this scale, every student thrives? Some of the issues are fundamental. Unless we greatly expand our housing stock and assure the housing is affordable, how can we ensure that our students will thrive? To address a number of the concerns I've just raised, I recently inaugurated a strategic planning process that will examine what our university should look like in 10 years and the course that will take us there. Guided by commitments to diversity, excellence, innovation, our public mission, and to accountability and transparency, several committees of faculty, staff, students, and administrators are now examining 4 strategic questions. They are, first, what are the critical issues, the grand challenges facing our state, our nation, and our world that Berkeley is uniquely suited to address and to solve? Where are we best positioned to be a global leader? And what investments do we need to make it become so? Second, how can we optimize the student experience? What investments and changes in our instructional and co-curricular programs, in our housing and dining options, would have the most impact on the quality of our students' experience? Third, what is Berkeley's optimal size? We've come a long way from those first 12 graduates to today's campus population of 40,000 students. Accepting that enrollment growth is not entirely within the campus's control, what do we see as the preferred enrollment level for Berkeley? And how should this enrollment be distributed among undergraduate and graduate students, master's and doctoral students? Should the size of our colleges and schools stay roughly proportional, or should we grow selectively? What role should alternative education delivery models play in accommodating increased demand and reaching out to new populations? And finally, how can Berkeley foster a sustainable financial model in an environment in which it does not control either state funding allocations or tuition levels and must develop an evolving diversity of revenue sources? Importantly, in such a mixed funding environment, how do we best sustain our mission and identity as a public institution? In my time as Chancellor, I've been thinking a lot about the qualities that define our particular character and history. Intellectual courage is one of the most important. Whether in the free speech movement, the loyalty oath controversy, or the quest to discover new scientific paradigms, we strive to foster that courage, that constant questioning of the status quo in our students, empowering and educating them to change the world as we've been changing it since 1868. Now we must make changes here, changes that will assure Berkeley's future is as distinguished as its past. We're on the right track. We're making excellent progress in reducing our deficit. We've committed to doubling our housing capacity in the next 10 years. We are seeking to add a capstone discovery experience to every student's education. And we're hiring immensely talented faculty who lead the way in research in subjects from physics to philosophy. I ask you to join me on this journey, which is not for the faint-hearted. Only by working together, by looking to the future as our forebears looked through the Golden Gate, by committing to our core values of comprehensive excellence and access for all, will we maintain the brilliance of Berkeley. I end by quoting President Benjamin I. Wheeler, and so I say, cheer for her, it will do your lungs good. Love her, it will do your heart and your life good. Thank you, and here is to the next 150 years. Fiat Lux, and go Bears!
Dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go. To right the unright. rightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. For this, that one man, a woman, scorned and covered with scars, still strong with the last ounce of courage to reach, to
Wow, Candace, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. Actually, let's get one more big round of applause for Candace Johnson. And now I want to take you all back to one of the greatest moments in the history of college football and in the history of Cal. Let's watch.
What a recovery by Stanford. You have to give them all sorts of credit. 4th and 17 at their own 13-yard line, and defeat Dairyman in the face, and they saved it. They pulled it out. What a show. All right, here we go with the kickoff. Harmon will probably try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rogers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rogers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone. Will it count? The Bears have scored, but the bands are out on the field. There were flags all over the place. Everybody's milling around on the field. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh my God! The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game over Stanford. Oh, excuse me for my voice, but I have never seen anything like it in the history of I've ever seen any game in my life. The Bears have won it.
Oh my God! Oh my God! The Bears have made it!
The Bears have made it. Oh my God, this is amazing. 150 years, 150 years. The finest university in America, the #1 rated university in America. Oh, excuse me for my voice. I just can't believe it. The party is just beginning. We got 150 more years to go at least. Go Bears!
Marching band has formed a 150 for all of us here today. Let's give them a big round of applause. And at this time, please stand while the Cal Band plays Hail to California. And now I have a special request. If you have a cell phone, take it out, hold it up high, turn on that flashlight, and raise your light high. Together, let's sing Happy Birthday, Berkeley. Thank you all so much for joining us on Charter Day to mark the founding of our great university and all it has brought to bear on our lives and the world. You've helped make this one of the most memorable, meaningful days in Cal's history. And Cal would not be what it is without you, our alumni, students, faculty, staff, and friends. And as always, go Bears!